Hi, I'm Ray Shewbert, the Director for the Defense Media Activity, the parent organization for the American Forces Network. The 4th of July is a great time for our country as we celebrate the independence of our nation. And this 4th of July, we also celebrate another significant event. Back in 1943, in a bombed-out building in London, the American Forces Network began broadcasting for the first time. Since that historic day, the men and women of AFN Europe have delivered news, information, entertainment to those far from home. The AFN team have been the touch of home for 70 years. The network has seen a lot of changes over the years, but never faltered. Join me now as we take a peek behind the scenes and meet some of the faces behind American Forces Network Europe. Happy anniversary, AFN.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is
hold on a second. Hey, can we cut? Thanks. Hey, I got a quick question for you. What do you think about when I say AFN? Like, how about our commercials? Yeah, I love them too. Hank, can we get something else up here? This is distracting.
So, while one watches, everyone else.
Are you kidding me? You know what? We need to take ourselves somewhere else through the magic of television. Bathroom? What is this thing, broken? Let's try it again. That's better. Now this is what I think about when I think of AFN. This is the Network Operations Center, as I like to call it, the nerve center of AFN Europe. It's the end of the line for the programs before they reach your radio and television, but how do we get the programs here? Well, that's what we're about to show you.
Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you into our studios inside the making of what you see and hear on AFN.
I'm Luke Burns, and you're listening to AFN the Eagle, where we're serving America's best. Hey, we're also going to show you how AFN television and radio impacts your life, like when you're deployed.
In the gym, you know, you're working out, you have right there, there are screens all over the screen. And the best thing is we have it in our room.
And some other ways we've been a part of your life.
I started listening to AFN in 1946.
Throughout the show, we're going to be playing you some of those famous AFN commercials, but with a twist.
I actually enjoy watching this one. Some of them are pretty stupid, but this one's funny.
Please don't go.
It's not as corny as most AFN commercials, I can tell you that.
We want to take you behind the scenes, open up all the doors. This is the AFN Europe Wide Open!
On July 4th, 1943, AFN broadcasts for the first time to U.S. troops from BBC studios in London, England.
It was good. It was nice to have something like a piece of home here with me. I would be, going to practice every day, or going home from my games on every Sunday and listening to the country, like top 20 countdown or 40 countdown, and I was so excited because it just was like a piece of home, and it made me feel good, just to listen to somewhat of an American station. That was awesome. That was really cool to listen to you guys every day.
Please don't go. Please don't go.
That's funny. That's a little creepy.
Pretty good so far, actually. I hope he's not going away far.
This is my favorite commercial.
Every time I pull my cack out, I think of this.
I actually enjoy watching this one. Some of them are pretty stupid, but this one's funny.
Creative.
Wow, that's awesome.
Please don't go. That's entertaining. Okay, that was actually quite entertaining.
Not as corny as most AFN commercials, I can tell you that.
Pretty funny, watching a cat card scene.
Good.
I absolutely adore that commercial. So much so, I got me one of these.
Please don't go.
What?
Please don't go. Babe, I love
hey, what are you doing? Don't put me in there. Hey, come on, don't know.
Easy, gentlemen. They're still working out the kinks. Let's get back to that question that I asked you earlier. What do you think about when I say this? Let's go find out.
Awesome music.
Awesome. Nice. All right. Good.
Colorful. My favorite radio station, AFN.
Perfect. Really? Army.
Luke Burns.
Yes, you heard that correctly. He said Luke Burns, AFN, synonymous. I love it.
Wow.
It gives me a little touch of home.
A touch of home. Perfect. I couldn't have said that better myself. Now, we know what that looks and sounds like today, but what about over the last 70 years?
This is a G.I. Joe, man.
We started broadcasting from BBC studios in London, England in 1943. And as the Allies began liberating Germany in 1944, we moved into our first station there, AFN Munich. Our headquarters back then and into the 60s was a castle in Frankfurt, Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking to you from Frankfurt, Germany, and our very special guest is Sergeant Elvis Presley. Elvis, it's nice to see you.
Oh, thank you very much, Johnny. It's nice to be here.
AFN expanded into Italy in 1955 and continued to grow into the mid-70s. The same time we first broadcast color TV. Today, AFN Munich is gone, but 17 stations now make up the American Forces Network Europe. These stations are located in 11 countries, from Suda Bay on the island of Crete, to Turkey, the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, and Germany. That's where we have our headquarters, in Mannheim. We even have stations in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and Honduras. AFN is made up of members of all the military services, Department of Defense civilians, and local nationals.
It's the Toadies with Possum Kingdom right here on AFN Freedom Radio.
Some of AFN's service members are even deployed to Afghanistan.
An Afghan and coalition force killed Taliban leader Mohammed Haidar during a security operation.
You know, getting a little touch of home is nice when you're stationed overseas. But imagine being really far from home. But not just geographically, in every way imaginable. And there's one person that doesn't have to imagine it, because he lives it every day.
Imagine getting up in the morning, going to work, and not coming home for 9 months. Or even a year. For many in the Army, it's not hard to imagine at all because that's their reality.
Being away from home, whatever short time or long time it is kind of rough.
That's Staff Sergeant Victor Rivera, and this is the 4th time he's had to say goodbye to his wife and 2 daughters.
This is just 9 months.
Victor makes it seem like 9 months in Afghanistan is a walk in the park, and that's because that amount of time is the shortest deployment he's had.
All the deployments have been 16 months, 13 months, 12 months.
When he finally returns home, Victor will have spent a total of 37 months away from his family. That's over 3 years. For Victor, saying it's hard being away from his family is an understatement.
I've been with my wife for 26 years, and it's like my world is built around them.
Naturally, being deployed, you encounter stress. Victor has 2 things that help him cope with that stress. The first is his group of friends.
Having them out here and my family away, it helps me a lot because I have somebody to talk to.
You don't raise those pictures.
You talk to your family, you don't want to tell them how bad your day was. You want to talk to them, see how they're doing, you don't want to bring anything bad because, it's already stressful for them to be by themselves.
The other thing that helps Victor out during deployment is something that seems to follow him around during the day.
Have it at the DFAC, in the gym, you're working out, you have right there screens all over the screen. And the best thing is we have it in our room.
He's talking about AFN.
And it's free. So it helps a lot because they keep us up to date. It would suck just to go to your room and look at an empty wall.
And his favorite show on AFN may surprise you.
Twilight?
No, not Twilight. Dora the Explorer. Go Diego, go. No, it's the Big Bang Theory.
All right.
Victor's friends, along with AFN, keep him company until he's able to return home.
I just love my family, man. Yeah.
Army Sergeant David Birchfield, Camp Phoenix, Afghanistan.
Well, we just hope you come home safe, and we're thinking about you, Staff Sergeant Rivera. And we'd like to thank AFN Afghanistan Sergeant Birchfield for the video. This is a neighborhood on a military base in Germany, and chances are some of the people that live in these houses have a deployed family member.
We wish all of them a safe return and hope AFN is helping their deployment go by a little bit faster. When we come back, you're going to meet one of AFN's DJs, and you'll also find out that the person behind the voice is not always who you think they are.
AFN headquarters gets a new home in 1946, broadcasting from the Höchst Castle on the Main River near Frankfurt, Germany.
I started listening to AFN in 1946. I listened to AFN when President Kennedy was murdered. I remember the one you really felt. He was sad. He had tears, probably. I got an idea of what America means through AFN, and I admired that all the time.
History is made.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The Berlin Wall falls, and AFN is there broadcasting live in November 1989.
Chances are some of these cars, well, I hope all of them, are tuned into AFN radio. I know I am.
You're gonna listen to some great music. Here's the Go-Go's.
I love this guy. Always gets my day jump-started in the morning, but who are these people, and are they really who we think they are?
I love being a DJ because I'm constantly on my toes. It's not like a job where I have to turn a wrench or stand at the gate. And every single day I have to come in, I have to do something new, and I have to be up to date, and I have to be a part of the community, and I have to be aware of what's going on around me. And I love being the guy who is in the know and the guy who's passing that information.
Good morning. It is 69 degrees at 7:12, and I'm Staff Sergeant Brad Koch. You are listening.
People always tell me that I have the coolest job or the easiest job because they would love to sit in a room and just play music all day. And it's so much more than that. I have to try to find ways to lead and mentor my airmen. I have to prepare for my job just like everybody else. And people really don't get a good feel for how technical our job is or how complicated it can be until they actually get an opportunity to come into the studio for a show. They really don't gain that appreciation until they really get to see it. Broadcasters deploy just like anybody else. I've deployed twice. I've missed a lot. I've missed my daughter's birth. I missed birthdays. I've missed anniversaries. And that sucks. But through this job, I've gotten to see so many great missions and meet so many wonderful people carrying out those missions that it almost makes it worth the sacrifice. And there's honestly nothing that I would rather be doing right now.
This is your Eagle Mornings. I'm Staff Sergeant Brad Koch, and I am proud to be serving America's best.
I love being behind the mic. I host a radio show myself for AFN as a civilian, but I used to be a soldier doing the same thing, just like this guy. Check this out.
Oh, just let me hear that theme just one more time. Well, a great big happy howdy to you out there, friends and neighbors. This your old country buddy Wagon Wheel Willie coming at you on Stick Buddy Jamboree. Sit back and relax and enjoy 25 minutes of good country and western recorded music. I will beware, man.
Wagon Wheel Willie, hilarious. But you know, today's DJs are not too then, no, I'm just kidding, this mic's fine. In fact, it's not even on. I just thought that'd be a fun way to introduce our next story. It's about a guy who I would call if I was having problems with my microphone. Hey, Rainer, can you come down to the studio, please? Rainer is Rainer Wunderlich. He's the chief engineer of AFN Bavarian Vilseg, Germany, and he's been with AFN for 28 years. In a few moments, you'll find out how he makes it possible for AFN to get inside your head.
You got the sound controls up here. AFN's part of our culture. It has been, and it will continue to be as long as we're here.
This is a very nice radio, in my opinion.
I collect German radios, and one of the things that is on a German radio is an AFN channel. If it doesn't have it, I won't buy it. It means it's not in the era that I'm looking for.
There you are, right there. Yep. That's right, AFN Stuttgart.
It's very clear that AFN is part of not only the American community, but also the local European community.
August 7th, 1995. AFN expands its television services from 1 channel to 3, later adding 8 more for the viewing audience.
Isn't it great that you can get AFN radio in your car? I know that might seem obvious, but for the last 70 years, we've relied on the same people to get your favorite song from our studios into your ears. Ow! It's nothing like your favorite song in stereo, thanks to our engineers, like Rainer Wunderlich.
The Rainer is a little bit a hard-headed guy. Set it up the way it was before. Sometimes he adjusts, but at a certain point, before you started switching on, Rainer is not going to adjust. I'm Rainer Wunderlich, Chief Engineer at AFN Bavaria. Being a Chief Engineer is kind of tough. My job is to overlook and make sure all the equipment, all the facilities is operational. Turned on for testing. There is always challenges. There is always new things. Over the years, AFN became part of my life. You have to rely on each other. Hey Anthony, this is Rainer. Hey, I'm out here in Craft. Because so much work. So this is the tuning unit. I know this is and a team is the only way you can survive these days. And I think that drives the train. It's a great career, I would say. And AFN gave me a lot of opportunities. I was able to make a lot of decisions. That means a lot to me, and hopefully it also means a lot for AFN.
Now, I worked with Rainer for 3 years, and I can tell you he fixed a lot of stuff that just happened to break while I was using it. I swear I had nothing to do with it. This is the Airmen and Family Readiness Center. Don't believe me? How about now? I'm here to learn about one of the many classes that they offer, like this food allergy support group, which is perfect for me because my taste buds happen to be allergic to anything healthy. You too? Weird. I saw it on an AFN commercial, like that one.
For everything from relocation services to support groups for food allergies, we're a one-stop shop for all of your life's needs.
Now, I know what you're dying to ask me. Luke, that's right, you can call me Luke. I feel like we got to know each other. Luke, where do these commercials come from and who makes them? Well, we're about to take you inside the AFN factory. Here it is, AFN commercial assembly line. Pumping out spots 24/7. As you can see, it's a pretty dirty job, but coming up, we're gonna show you how it all goes down from start to finish.
On September 11, 2001, AFN provides around-the-clock coverage on the terrorist attacks and aftermath in the U.S., as well as delays, closures, and force protection announcements from Europe.
My AFN moment has lasted 43 years. I started working at AFN Kaiserslautern in 1970, and that was the most amazing job you'd ever want to have. Just think of all the music in the 70s, from the Beatles, the Bee Gees, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. It was just an awesome time. AFN is very important to me. It comes right after my family, and it actually is my second family. And I have met some awesome people here.
It was exciting for me to go into the studio and be able to actually record with my dad when in 1963 I was 8 years old. And he called it The Wizard and Pudgeon, and you can guess who Pudgeon was. Armed Forces Radio brings you another edition of everyone's favorite Saturday morning adventure. What do you think of our trip today, Pudgeon? It has a direct bearing on how I spent much of the rest of my life, and it started me on a whole new career in broadcasting, and I got bit by the broadcasting bug.
Obviously out of field goal range. AFN Europe airs high school sports live on TV and streaming on the internet. More than 5,000 people in 19 countries log on to watch high school basketball championship games live over the internet.
We have got to come up with a spot promoting energy conservation. Ideas.
We could have a talking hamster running on a wheel, and the hamster says, following energy conservation tips can save money. And that's when the camera zooms out to show that the wheel is powering a light bulb.
Okay, how about this? We have a talking hamster on a wheel promoting energy conservation. The camera zooms out to reveal that the hamster is powering a light bulb.
That's awesome. You literally just said the same thing I did. You just did this.
No, I did this.
Makes all the difference.
That's definitely right on the nose. It's definitely pretty good.
All right, now bear with me, bear with me. I've seen it a million times. This makes all the difference. Not really. This isn't how we come up with AFN commercials, but it's close. Now we're going to show you how we really do it. The making of an AFN commercial, but without the commercial interruptions. Check this out.
The AFN commercial, it is only 30 seconds long, but there is this whole process to it that you would not believe. It starts with a simple production meeting and some brainstorming, and from there it just spirals out of control. Whatever.
We gotta kidnap some kids tonight.
What we're doing here today, we have to produce a spot about the Airman and Family Readiness Center.
I don't know if I would call myself creative. I'm a good plagiarizer, so sometimes I'll see other ideas and I can turn them into my own.
I say we just wing it.
Every person sort of plays a specific part, and every person sort of does everything.
We don't pay anybody, so if we have actors in our spot, it's all volunteer or it's one of us.
So for a few of these spots, we're actually going to need a female actor. Honey, can you do this? We all share ideas. We all try to come up with something creative and original. It just kind of eventually turns into a bit of a circus.
Are you pregnant? Wow, I'm so pregnant.
Because the crazier you get, the more creative you get.
I'm just waiting until we actually talk about something spot related, that's all.
Well, it's important to have input from everybody else, so Goad and Rand are working on some other ideas. And I think it's really gonna turn out. Bars and tones. I need this to film her. I'm gonna be moving around. I don't know what's happening today.
Right now, Airman Kovalevsky's running around like a chicken with his head cut off to get this whole spot ready to shoot. 1 and 2. All right, you ready to rock? He's setting up the lights to make sure they look good on my face.
If I put this light right here, I think that should be able to be good.
Is that bright? Is that
Kovalevsky was out here and he was setting up these lights. He really couldn't figure it out. So then we moved locations, and it's been an hour and a half, and they still haven't finished something that they started at 1 p.m. So
by the end of the day.
You have to be as resourceful as you can be, and again, you always got to be coming up with workarounds and just crafty ways of doing things because we don't have a whole Hollywood production studio.
I don't even know what I'm doing here, to be honest.
Right now we're in the editing portion of the whole process, and this is my favorite part because you literally see the pieces of everything you shot come together.
This one looks nice. I mean, try to use that.
Things need to kick back at you however many times for stuff you might never have seen.
And then also it says visit the Airman Academy.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I learned that I can't type up a sentence properly. So after a week of planning, another week of shooting, and who knows how many hours in front of the editor, we finally have a final product, and we're about to take a look at it right now. Hello?
Guess what? We're having a baby.
Ah, shit.
By the end of the day.
Hey, where have you been? Hey, don't you drive up!
Just watching some AFN commercials, and I've made plenty of them in my day. Always had a blast doing it. And apparently I'm not the only one, because we gave you the opportunity to make your own commercials for AFN. And coming up, we're gonna give you a chance to see some of the stuff you sent us.
Right now I'm doing my 200th AFN show, Radio Free Handbeat. I started in February 2008 when I was at the high school. I really enjoy the opportunity to come in and talk about what's going on at the school. I am so grateful that these guys allow me to come in here every week and actually encourage me, say, come on in, come on in here, talk about whatever you need to talk about. AFN has been like another place for me to go. It's just been, they've been very, very cooperative, very supportive. I can't imagine not having AFN around.
Price of a tank of gas?
During this part, I'll probably move away because they're just passing around a credit card.
Price for tickets to the hottest show in town?
You watch it, you giggle, and you think, oh my, how bad.
Taxi! Price of a night out with friends?
The guys look like they're having fun, but it didn't seem very authentic.
He said the next thing, and I was like, I don't really want to listen to it anymore.
Price of using a government travel card for unauthorized purchases?
It sounded like it was from the 90s.
Misuse of a government credit card is both illegal and unethical.
I'd probably get up and get some chips, go to the bathroom.
Honestly, I would turn away from it. It was on TV to find another commercial.
A message from Commander U.S. Naval Forces Europe.
It's kind of boring, not for people my age.
AFN Europe begins streaming AFN the Eagle Radio live on the internet 24 hours a day when it launches AFN 360, June 1st, 2012.
Venice is part of a group of 108.
Now we're back here at the Network Operations Center. And part of this guy's job is to make sure that real commercials don't air.
I love Venice. We'll see more of this great city right after this commercial break.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, man!
Just like that. Ooh. This is not gonna end well.
Oh, Timmy! You can't come over here! Break that Jackson!
But it's Casual Friday.
It wasn't me! The lever was stuck! The lever was stuck! It wasn't my fault! The lever was stuck!
Do you realize what you've done?
That ain't your case, Philip!
We would never drag a guy out of here while he was working. We'll make him finish his shift first.
And you won't! 12 seconds of that! That's what I'm talking about!
Nations in the world. And you'll take
We can't air commercials from the States because they give us our TV and movies for free, and we don't advertise. Just like we didn't charge you for the You Do It commercials that you made for the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at some of the stuff you came up with.
You do it! Make your own Super Bowl commercials!
You know, one of the most fun and interactive things that we've done with the AFN audience are the You Do It Super Bowl commercials. Over here. We'd love to air the real Super Bowl commercials, but like Luke said, we can't. The solution we came up with, have the audience make their own commercials that we'd air during the big game, the You Do It's. And you know what? It worked.
Yeah, here's all the Super Bowl commercials from 1990 on for you to play during the Super Bowl in the case to high five? Yeah. Whatever. I don't know.
Make sure you wear a PT belt.
Anybody got time for that?
You will get hit by a bus if you don't.
I'm not wearing one. See, I ain't gonna get hit by no.
Pants that cover your ankles and shoes that also cover your ankles.
That's not what right looks like. That's what right looks like.
AFN, they're not invited to my party.
Yeah, do you like that?
That's what I'm talking about. I thought, woo!
The You Do It Super Bowl commercials gave you a chance to showcase your talents in AFN, but it also gave us at AFN a chance to work directly with you, our audience. Good times. Good times.
Some pretty talented folks. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the commercials made by our audience members. And, well, everything that we've shown you in this inside look behind AFN Europe. We want to close the show by saying thank you to you, the audience, for demanding more from us and always pushing us to be better over the last 70 years. I'm Luke Burns, and thanks for watching. We gave you the viewer. The viewer. Always impressed with the kind of talent that you have out there. And I totally blanked on what the next line was. You ready for me? You waiting for me or am I waiting for you?
Did you realize what you've done?